Order, I pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Norm's not here today, so Greg and I are gonna do the best we can without him. Item number two on the agenda. For those of you that are new, select board policy, how the meetings are run is on the table. If you need to get a copy of that, review it. Go ahead. And let's look at this. Greg, do we have any adjustments to the agenda? The requirement treasurer's warrant, payroll warrants. These 10 of them. Harbor Master's not here, so we won't have a harbor committee.
And no planning board.
No planning board.
Who is the new harbor master? Yeah, that's right.
Planning board, age friendly, communications committee. Yeah, that's here. Parks and Rec. No, are you? Yeah, good.
Present.
I'm used to seeing Bonnie. Right. Right. I move we accept the agenda as is. All in favor? All right. Approval of prior minute meetings. We talked about this before. Greg wasn't here at the prior meeting, so I think we maybe pull that over till Norm gets here next time. Okay. So we're gonna push that back to approve the minutes when Norm was here, because Greg can't approve it. Obviously, he wasn't here. So. Okay, treasurer's warrant, the verbiage, reviewed it. I move we accept the treasurer's warrant as is. Two parts. The payroll warrant and the AP warrant. I move we accept both of those as are. All in favor? All right. All right. New business. Ray, you got to help me on this one.
So we have Jason Parent, CEO of Community Action Group. So we had prior, we used to have Downey's Community Partners, which so now we have ACAP. Is that your current?
Officially right now, I'll explain.
Officially now ACAP, soon to be changing by the end of the meeting. And he's here to speak with us.
Well, thank you very much, Manager, for members of the Select Board. My name is Jason Parent, and I have the pleasure of serving as the CEO for your community action agency here in Hancock County, as well as Washington and Aroostook County. I have been the Chief Executive Officer for community at Aroostook County for the last 10 years. And as many of you are aware, all of you are aware here in this community, for the last few years, Downey's Community Partners has been struggling. They were unable to do a fiscal audit for a 3-year period. As a result of that, a number of the contracts that they were working with, including the federal Office of Head Start, the Maine housing contracts, which include the Home Energy Assistance Program, which helps many residents right here in Sullivan, the weatherization program, and the aging services program in particular, were unable to continue contracts with Downey's Community Partners. So we had been working with them since January of 2025. We had been sharing a chief financial officer, and actually our chief financial officer from Aroostook County had come down, had been working full-time, trying to untangle the challenges that Downey's Community Partners was facing. There were unfortunately documents that were missing and the like, which made it difficult to impossible for them to be able to continue to operate. So working in partnership with their board of directors for Downey's Community Partners and ours in Aroostook County, and all of the funding sources for the community action agency programs in Washington and Hancock counties, we were able to effectively work with those funding sources to end the contracts with Downey's Community Partners and initiate new contracts with the Aroostook County Action Program, with the caveat and promise that we would be working toward building a 3-county community action agency, and that's what I'm here to talk about this evening. I was here in Sullivan just last Thursday in this very room with the Beach Friendly Sullivan Group with 3 of my colleagues that operate programs and services across the 3 counties. to share with members of your community, the community in particular, about the programs and services that we offer. The transition officially began on July 1st when the early care and education programs, the federal Head Start program, transitioned from ECP over to ACAP. And by October 15th of 2025, this last October, we had transitioned the remainder of programs. So since then, we've been working diligently to create a new organization, which we will rename by the end of summer this summer. We've worked to onboard or to recruit and will officially onboard and meet at our May board meeting 15 new members from counties, in addition to the team that we have in Aroostook County for a 30-member board of directors that would truly be representative of the entirety of the region. And so as we've been doing that process, we are continuing to operate in Hancock County here, specifically out of the facility elsewhere, the 18 Avery Lane facility, which was known as the Head Start building. We consolidated all of our services for Hancock County with the exception of the Friendship Cottage location on the Blue Hill Peninsula in that Avery Lane facility. Because this was not a merger between the two CAP agencies, because of the significant liabilities that Downey's Community Partner was carrying, we did not inherit those liabilities. We also did not inherit any of those assets. So any of the buildings are currently in the process of being sold to be liquidated to pay back debt from Downey's Community Partners. That includes the facility on the Black Sport Road that was Downey's Community Partners headquarters for a number of years, and other properties across Washington County, and namely otherwise here in Hancock County, the Friendship Cottage facility, which we just officially received our purchase and sale agreement back today. And pending approval of the judge who is overseeing the receivership that Downey's Community Partners is now in, we will transition ownership of Friendship Cottage to preserve those elder care services for residents of Hancock County in particular, and those especially closer to the peninsula. So those services are sound. We have, with the exception, and you also might have heard this through the media, we have been able to successfully transition all programs and services from DCT over to the company that is currently ACAP, or the nonprofit organization soon to be renamed ACAP, operating as Community Action in Aroostook, Washington, and Hancock counties, with the exception of transportation services, as we assess working with the contracts for provision of services for transportation services. Downey's Community Partners book of business and transportation services has dissolved over the past 3 years, and namely the organization or the transportation broker, Motive Care, had already brought additional transportation providers into the region to provide most of those services. Those are for the contracts and services with the Department of Health and Human Services, primarily for non-emergency medical care transportation. There are other services through the Department of Transportation for transportation that we were successfully able to transition over to our sister CAP community agency in Waldo County, which is operating those limited services. There wasn't a great book of business with DOT in terms of transportation programs. But all of the other programs and services have successfully transitioned over, and we have not skipped a beat in providing services on the early education front or housing side of things. Specifically here in Sullivan, I provided you with a report of services for the community for 2025. It does represent what I think is a low number. Some of the data, because it's 3/4 of the year worth of reportable data from Downey's Community Partners, and then a quarter of the year when our agency begins to take over programs and services. We discounted any transportation data because we didn't find it reliable, and it wasn't predictive of what we were going to be doing moving forward for this community. And some of the other numbers that we questioned really did not include. So I anticipate that this is a low report of services for Sullivan, where we did 68 units of service to members of the community for a total value, dollar value of just under $70,000 in the areas of early care education or services. One of the other things that we changed in terms of how we work in partnership with our communities, the funding that communities like Sullivan provide our community action agency and what we consider municipal appropriations are critical for us to draw down match funds for federal dollars for programs like the Home Energy Assistance Program or the Head Start program. We're required to show a local match with the federal and the state match as well. So these dollars provide a critical local match. One of the things that we've been successful with and have done in Aroostook County in terms of our assessment of municipalities for appropriation is to be able to work with that community to retain consistent acts over a lengthy period of time. So what we do, as opposed to a more complex formula we currently used to impose, which was based on the year prior service to that community, where we really feel our programs and services can be accessible at any given point to any community members who are vulnerable and fall in hard times, is we assess a per capita cost, in this case 40 cents per capita, that we set with every decennial census. So right now, based upon Sullivan's population in the 2020 decennial census, the appropriation request for the town of Sullivan would remain flat at that rate through the 2030 census, at which time our board of directors would reassess the 40 cent per capita rate. And obviously there'd be an adjustment based upon the population data, the population census for 2030 and the decennial census. So with that, the Sullivan, the requested amount for Sullivan for 2026 from our agency is $427.60 to be precise. And that again is a consistent formula across all of the communities. So it really does have a weighted factor for a community the size of Ellsworth as opposed to a community the size of Sullivan. So it's proportional as well as to what our expectations are of the communities. There's really been a significant body of work that has gone on over the last year, essentially, to ensure that those programs and services for these communities across the communities is preserved. One of the things that we'll be bringing into smaller communities like Sullivan in the coming year is we're fortunate enough through Senator Cohen's office to receive Congressional Director's funding to establish a mobile service unit. And that has been, we unveiled it last spring in Aroostook County. We will be extending that into Washington and Hancock County this year, so we will be able to serve people closer to the smaller communities when we bring mobile service unit into town. It's essentially a functional office on wheels. It allows us to be able to connect with people in communities, especially those where we don't have an office or sharing. So there's a huge body of work that has happened. I've provided you with both a number of documents, a letter of request for municipal appropriation, which details some of the work that we've done, the specific 2025, the report of services specific to the town of Sullivan, and then our 2026 services directory, which delineates what programs and services are available in each of the 3 counties across the spectrum. When you look at that, you will notice, and it's just the way community action agencies evolve, our work in Aroostook County has taken on much of the work that in these 2 counties Healthy Cadia does. So you don't see us offering those programs here. Those are the programs that Healthy Cadia offers. In addition to that, in Aroostook County, we're the provider of women and children or WIC services. So you won't see that here for this county in that particular directory. But potatoes for Aroostook County, blueberries for Washington County, and lobster for Hancock County are icons, so you can follow along and see what services we offer in Hancock County by looking for the lobster. So I'm very pleased again to be serving Sullivan and community across Hancock and Washington County. I will say we are not practicing a hub and spoke model, so this isn't because you go to Aroostook County that things are all you style. I have actually spent more time down east in the last 3 months than I have in our Presstyle office. Our leadership team is splitting our time between the offices, particularly in Ellsworth and Presstyle, but we're reestablishing in Machias, where we will be partnering with the town office there to reestablish an office in Machias. There is currently one there since the DCP building is sold in September there. And partnering with their town office that have our services in both. So we're here, we're proud to be part of the community and serve the bird community. This particular winter season and going into the late winter, early spring, it's partial, especially as Austin escalated in the latter part of the season here. And we really, as I look at the numbers and the trajectory of how many people we serve and households we serve in Volusia County, they have seen a precipitous increase over the last 5 years since the pandemic, where more seniors who used to be able to just make it on their fixed incomes or take a little out of savings are no longer do that. We didn't see access points. The data wasn't as strong in Washington. So we do feel that there are a number of households who will be into that program. Right now, push to try to get more people enrolled in that program. Same week right now with appointments given on that of the season. So really trying to do a lot of outreach. We've been doing a new segment on Stormily 7.7. So more that I could talk about, but I'm happy to take any questions at this specific interest to you as it relates to our services here in Hancock County and Sullivan, or any of the transition.
I've got a question. Actually, I want to bring Kim Brooks in this. She's actually the head of Age Friendly. And she wasn't here for your meeting, so.
I was gonna say, I didn't think I saw your face in the crowd.
Yeah, so because I think the greatest benefit for your services will be hooking up with Age Friendly. Because they moved through that. So you're all on board with this stuff and
It's at our age friendly monthly meeting last week.
okay. Yeah, you mentioned that. I know you went there.
Stacy, so directly services. We had a family son here. Aging services. Our regional director of operations, Tracy Collins, who actually works on between this.
I'm assuming that request funding is in the budget request.
Mhm.
Okay.
But it was a good opportunity since they were,
Yeah.
since it was a change over in old organization, new organization, and you were reaching out to people, and this was gonna be a lengthier discussion.
We didn't get a letter from Vern.
From them, we did.
Darwin's community, we didn't get a lot of things because they don't.
Okay, I
No.
didn't get a copy.
That should have been in there. Yeah. But it's not it doesn't say ACAP on it, but it does say the community in action.
Just one quick question,
Yes.
so you're not taking on any of the liability from this, the foreclosure on the building?
No, all of that, there are significant debts for that agency to pay off, including, unfortunately, as a result of them not able to file their 990, they're basically do an audit for 3 years, this one is for 3 years. That was a requirement of their contract, so the federal office of Head Start and Youth Service are now requesting even if their services were prohibited, they're requesting for those 2 years of finances, money that they
Not coming from you?
that's not coming from us, that's gonna probably not actually ever get. There's also, there's a they have liens on properties, they also have money that they owe, like the child state. There's a significant, they owe our agency actually for, they never. Their services, there's a considerable amount there, and it's just being worked out through the receivership and rate boards now. I suspect it'll be a few more months before there's any conclusion. It's a complicated process, and it's been very challenging.
I read about it.
All right, anybody else have any more questions for Jason?
Oh, not for Jason.
Okay,
Real quick, when you were doing the agenda, you left out the budget committee?
I didn't do the agenda. This agenda was presented to us, so.
Well, I was wondering if you could make a motion to include the budget committee.
We,
I got a couple items we can talk about. And
we
just
ready to put that on?
really real quick, just
All right. All right, let's,
Red's already done.
yeah,
You
move,
could add that. to it.
all right, just for future, if you want to be on the agenda, did you put a note in to request to be on the agenda?
I just, every other week it's been, committee reports,
Yeah,
so I thought it was gonna be under.
got
committee.
it. So we'll put you down on the committee reports and we'll hit you up.
Okay.
All right, you need a formal motion to add that? All right. All right. All right, thank you very much, Jason.
Appreciate it.
Town of Sullivan demolition quote.
So we had asked, we have the trailers that looking to get removed out of,
Yep.
So I got a quote from GM&J
Yeah, I saw a copy
for
of
that.
Okay, there are 3 trailers that the town owns on Moose Lane, I think it's called,
Yes,
up by Tracy's.
yeah, there's
across from
one on
Tracy's.
Moose Lane and 2 on,
Libby's Lane. which
Libby's
goes
Lane.
around. It's on that already, and that is a liability to the town of Sullivan. Last year, we had a guy squatting in there. We're paying insurance on it every year. And, we talked about getting them out of there. Basically, we tried with Mark Andrews and he went like this to us, so we have to pay somebody to tear them down and take them away. And this is a DM&J waste quote.
Is it on our property?
No, it's not on our property. That's the funny part. Yeah.
Did you get Dottie Martin's permission to remove them?
we got to get the acceptance that they'll do it, then we'd notify them that we'd be moving stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Okay, so I'll notify the property owners so we can make a move ahead on that.
Yeah, we notified Martins when the squatter was on there last summer.
Yeah, just so whoever you got going on the property have permission to be on the property.
Yeah, we got to let them know who's gonna be there.
Yeah, and when,
And work out the schedule and everything.
okay? Number 8 on the agenda, the remote participation.
You can do it, you wanna make a motion to approve it?
No, I make a motion to approve the quote. On favor. So we can get that stuff out of here.
Right.
Yep. Okay, remote participation policy, which is
Okay.
in our folder. Read it real quick and see if I can summarize it. In a nutshell, this says when either a select board member or a committee member cannot attend in person, we have a policy that allows them to remote methods means telephonic or video technology, basically Zoom in to the meeting. Main Street. Okay. So we've done a lot of this already. We just haven't had a formal policy in place, is my understanding. So
When do you do it?
we did it on the budget committee last year. We had a number of people dial in to the budget meetings at time. That's when I was involved in it. We've had people dial in here to participate in the meeting if they had something to.
I know most towns will do the Zoom thing where
Yeah.
people can.
That's what this is effectively. We just never had a policy stating that we allowed it.
And if a committee does it, what they should do is share that link ahead of time so that people that want to participate can, freely without, it's not just a private Zoom link for an individual. It's a public Zoom link for anybody to jump in.
I think when you, me personally, present something like this to the town, we pay Selectmen $3,150 a year.
No, it's $3,000 a year.
$3,150. So when we expect you to be here at the board, not on some Zoom place. You're paid to be here twice a month.
I understand
We
that.
expect you to be here twice a month, not in person. That's my thing. I'm
Okay.
just saying that.
I agree with you. Okay, but because we only have 3 select board members, if Greg was still out with strep throat right now, we wouldn't be able to have a meeting because Norm's not here. So instances may arise when that's the case. This allows us to continue working because even though if Greg was strep throat, I don't want him here, or if he had COVID or whatever, spreading the virus around. But if he dialed in, or if I was sick and Greg was here and, or Norm and one of us wasn't, because there's only 3 people, I think this makes us more effective.
Well, as long as it's the exception and not the norm. Because then you could say, I'm gonna do all the meeting from home.
No.
You know, so as long as it's just the exception.
Yeah.
And then because of what Jerry was saying is, I hate to put it in this term, but for the $3,000 a year that the town approved for the selectmen is work. And if you look on the Maine State Constitution, for each and every day that the selectmen are actually working. So normally it's $10 a day, but the town had made it to 3,000.
Right, so
But
that
it's
takes precedence.
compensation
So,
for actual
Yep.
work.
But it's deeper than just a select board, because it then does cover any committee meeting. So any committee meeting, no, I'm saying, but this is one thing for everybody,
The only thing
one standard.
Select board and being compensated by the town for each and every day.
unless it's
That they
overridden
work.
by a town ordinance, which is what we have. So what this does,
But we don't have a charter, so
you're right, but I'm not gonna get into semantics with it right now.
Okay.
We've gone around this before.
that we have to rely on the Constitution under the Maine Revised State Statute, Title 30A, when it comes to compensation for the select board only. Committees are different.
What I suggest is we put this in place. And if it's abused, to your point,
Mhm.
we,
I
Take it
think
out.
we need to know I think there's something more behind it than this, and I think the town should vote on it. I don't think you 3 should vote on it.
I
Just
agree.
put it in place. Let's just put it in place for now. Let's just put this on the back burner, explain it to the town people and see how they feel about it.
Yeah, that I don't know if
Well,
it's,
then you'd have to make it an ordinance, not a policy.
There you go.
yeah,
So then I have to send this to the lawyer to have him look at it and
That's
create
right.
an ordinance,
That's
then we have to
my
create a
question is
committee.
why he's not here tonight saying, yeah, this is legal. This is okay.
because it's,
No? Be
All right.
careful, because I've been to other couple meetings where they presented stuff. And the town lawyer has been there to explain it to them.
Well, when it comes to the select board, the select board technically works for the tenants of the municipality of the town of Suffolk. And there's compensated for when they work. So then it's up to the, let's say Norm didn't show up for 8 months. Or let's use the example of Ray Daly when he was here. He missed, it was 8 consecutive meetings that he was required to work, right? Then it falls to the town to remove that selectman. So then you gotta get a petition to have that person removed from his position.
if he's violating the law or
If
committing
he's-
a
if he's
crime
not
against the
showing up
town.
to work, basically. But there's nothing that says you can't not show up to work. Because it's up to the townspeople to hold its select board responsible to showing up to work to run the town. And that's all in the main constitution.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move forward with this.
Sure.
And I vote we put this policy in place. To your point, and then we check with the lawyer and see if we need to Make
I
it,
think you should do that long
Ordinance?
before you put that in place,
oh, okay, appreciate your input.
just so it's noted.
So I move we adopt this policy to allow select board members and or committee members to dial in remotely to participate. So if need be, yeah. So all in favor? Yep.
You're adding the language if needed,
Um,
that's what you voted for.
Let's see.
The thing I don't like is you put in there, the town of Sullivan, and then in quotations, you put the town adopts.
Well, cause this way further down, you don't keep saying the
I'm
town
for
of
the
Sullivan.
town. I don't-
No, but you put the town of Sullivan and the town, just wherever it says the town, it's the town of Sullivan. You don't keep repeating the words.
Solution.
That's legalese. That's just how that works.
So the member who is unable to physically attend the meeting proceeding must notify the chair of proceeding town or committee in advance of the public proceeding, so would be notified in advance. That this is
No, I
gonna be
just say, you just said as needed,
well,
so if you just added that into document. So either that or just say, let's just take it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
take it back.
sorry.
That goes that way, sign. All right, next thing on the agenda. Remote, appointment of election clerks. So before everybody sat down, the town clerk gave us a list of slate of ballot clerks to be appointed. Christina McGowan, Marlene Daly, Barbara Raymond, Velma Thomas, Valerie Rice, Sheila Dedman, Christy Higgins, Myra Hornberger, Mary Lou Barker, what is it, Barker? Jeannie Edwards, Cynthia Perkins, and Mike Fisher. So I move we accept these names as ready. Second, all in favor? All right. Down now. Okay, old business. On to tree trimming. Greg, you missed this conversation last meeting. I went out and, we talked about I was gonna go drive on that Sunday. We went out and drove around and looked, and what struck me as more important than the tree trimming was the road shape, because I get lost track of the trees because I was bouncing on some of the roads so much. And so my take on it is Ray was going to check with the gentleman who does the mowing on the side of the roads and see if he had the capability to do the trimming. And Ray, you checked with him and your result was?
Rob Marshall cannot do it with the equipment that he currently has.
So we want to avoid.
See if he can mow this way.
Yeah.
To see if he had any equipment that he could pick up and do that. He
Yeah,
does
since
not.
he was driving it anyway, see if that'll work. So, we still have to do tree trimming. Did you get a chance to drive those roads?
Well, I drove them last fall, I mean.
Yeah, I went up and, I want to get your input on it. So if you get a chance, up Moranci and, Grange Hall, I think were the two that we were looking at, not Moranci, up, Thorn Road, and take a look at that. So if you could take a look at that, it didn't seem to me that bad.
Thorn Road's pretty bad.
Well, Charter Mass.
Well, I know, but I mean, the trees are out there.
Road, due to these.
Yeah,
Well, we've had a lot of complaints, people bringing campers out. Go in the middle of the road. But even a dump truck, you meet someone, he's gotta go out there and move the middle. It just doesn't get worse.
yeah. I guess part of when I went up there was no leaves on it, there was no snow, so it didn't appear to be that bad.
So along Route 1, that's for the electric.
Right.
Yeah, that's
And you're talking about our town
town
roads,
roads.
making them more user friendly, I guess.
Yeah, get in the branches, go over there. So,
Improve visibility and
yeah,
get more sunlight in the winter time from alcohol and keep the roads clear.
yeah, so if you get a
Yeah.
chance,
Real quick, just, because I've witnessed the equipment that was being used and so forth. Each time he came to a telephone pole, using equipment around that, none of the trees got taken care of.
I did notice that.
And if the problem is, when we had all our citizens come in at once complaining about, I've noticed some trees that it just completely died. You know, yeah.
But I don't think it's the interest.
Well, the one right next to my mom's, that it's devastating, but anyhow, to notify the individual property owners along the road.
Yeah, John, you
Either or. I was gonna
do
say
it
either
themselves or,
Yeah, or, cause if you went from the edge of the painter and went straight up, you know, that's what you're talking about, the trees coming into the road.
Yep.
So if you were able to come up, hit a branch, go back to the proper way of pruning, which is to take it back to the trunk, 6 inches off, leave a collar so that it can heal, and that's the proper way to do it. And what you do is a pre-cut method, you know, cut from the bottom, cut from the top, cut it off, and then trim it off.
Yeah.
So if you were to identify, it's almost like hand trimming. I know it sounds more labor intensive, but then you're gonna be able to get around the telephone pole. You're gonna be able to look at each individual tree that's affecting it.
Yep.
And then you'll be able to contact the specific owners to say, do you want us to do it? You know, we're not gonna survey your property, but if you wanna do it, you know, or you can show us where your survey lines are, then we can go from there, as long as they have permission.
Yep.
That you're gonna do it. There is a way to do it. I mean,
Right, but it's not 6 inches, you cut back to the crown of the limb and cut it off there. When you cut a limb off, you cut back to the crown of the limb where it comes
Right.
in.
from the trunk,
Not south 6 inches, crown is like this far off the tree.
yeah. Yeah, when you come off 6 inches, you do your first cut, second cut.
Okay, guys,
and then
we're-
trim it off.
All right,
that we don't need to get into details on how it's done. We know it needs to be done right.
they'll
So-
be using a chainsaw or a pole saw
Yeah.
next time.
So are we at the point where we can comfortably gonna take a look?
Yep.
And then I'd like to put a bid out in
Right.
place.
Ben, guys called me. all that.
Okay, good. Yeah, and then, once we do that, we can sit down and detail exactly what addresses and the people that will be impacted and notify them before the work gets done and go forward from there. Okay,
We ought to see what we can do to get the phone and cable TV in here, their swap overs on the poles,
I think
so the poles can be pulled.
I know they should, they don't even cut trees off their lines.
all right, so the action item on the tree trimming, Greg's gonna run through it one more time. Next meeting, we'll go and decide what areas, identify the people that will be impacted with addresses, so we can notify them, and then put a proposal together, a bid together. All right? Road maintenance, road selection. We talked a bit last time about which roads we're looking at paving. And I came up with a suggestion. The 3 roads were Thorn, Grange, and Melanson. And I think based on just, traffic on the road, i.e. number of residents on the road, we ought to look at Grange first, Moranci second, and Thorn third. Make sense to you? We didn't want to make a decision without your being here.
What about like behind down by the store, that road is fixable, you can pave it now and save it, but if it goes any longer, you're gonna have to dig it up, parts of it.
So Miramar
you know.
down there. This,
It's not that big a road.
I drove one, it's not bad shape.
No, but it's, when we did the culvert there,
Yeah,
there's some, there's like the asphalt was disintegrate.
so you're suggesting we do that ahead of one of these 3? I drove that road too, and I was just going over,
Well,
just,
that road is no I think the culverts have all been done on that road. These ones, I don't think any of the culverts are touched.
no, these guys are a mess. I mean, up the end of Thorn Road is an absolute disaster. Moranci Road, pretty much the whole road is a disaster. And the Grange all, 3/4, half of it is bad.
Better look into culverts, driveway culverts need to be replaced for road culverts, and you don't wanna replace the culverts and then pave it.
Right, so we got, I'm looking at a road
Right.
commissioner.
This, what I just gave you with the budget committee,
Yeah,
I did the same thing. I just went out and looked at the roads.
yeah,
One of the concerns is, the end of the Tump Lake Road. That is, I went out there, there are 3 culverts that have already been replaced. You can see where it's been cut across. the
yeah, I understand that. Let me just stop you for a second. Let me give you
Okay.
our logic here. Understand that. What I was trying to do, we're not gonna be able to do all the roads this summer.
Right.
Okay,
So I made a proposal there, going by the, survey that, Ray did a couple of years back as to what are most high problem roads. And the worst one I traveled was, the end of the tunnel. You couldn't even get a car down.
yeah, but that's also the least traveled as far as
That's
the
the thing.
residents of Maine.
Okay.
I was looking to see what's gonna be the best impact to the taxpayers,
Right.
because that'll be the Grange Hall has got more people living on it than the other ones do for that, for
Well,
that
they
section.
would benefit from it, but the,
Right,
but to say.
Morancey's
the number
second.
one, Morancy, I would put first.
Okay.
Because that hasn't been touched in 40 years.
yeah,
And the culverts seem to be working on the Morancy Road. There's no problem, even the one down on the corner.
Yeah.
So if we did, which has a lot to do with sending out a proposal so that we can get an actual bid. You
Yeah.
actually have a solid number to deal with. If we did Morancy, including Fremont's Corner, from there to the end of the,
Yep.
to the Rice property, and then possibly, if you could squeak in a little bus turnaround there at the end, that would be good.
Yep.
And then that would take care of, a lot of our neighbors. Yeah, the Grange Hall Road, but they did half that road back in, I want to say, 2012.
Mhm.
They did half of it, but even the half that they did is cracking up pretty good.
Yeah, stop that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We live on Thorn,
Mhm.
and, my son's handicapped, so he's not helping out. And marginally able to get home with him. He can't support himself, his head falls off the headrest, and, you know, so I'm going onto, someone's driveway now to get around, where it just keeps getting deeper and
yeah,
deeper.
that corner.
Yeah, we're at the top of the hill.
You can't even go, over the Bobby
Are
Brook.
you right, that S turn there?
Now we're
That's her.
Oh,
on the blue
Steep
house at the
Hill,
top.
High corner.
At the top of the hill.
Okay,
There's always been
On the left.
at least till the tunnel. Right.
I've been over the road a few years.
Yeah.
so, I mean, it used to be not bad road, but I
Yeah.
guess it's really.
Right now, coal patches, hot as a rock.
Well, we're all understanding that the majority of our roads have been in need of repair.
Yep.
The way I looked at it last year and this year, if we can aggressively do what we can in our budget.
Mhm.
Last year, we were able to resurface the
Taunton Grove.
Fountain Bay Road. If we could do Morancey's Grange Hall, we can get a bid out, so that's what I was gonna talk to you about, so that the budget committee can work that into this year's budget. And if we had a bid out on, let's say, those 2 roads, we can address those. And then by next year, we'll be able to do like the Thorn Road.
Yep.
Possibly find somebody to do Tunk is pretty bad.
It is, but again, nobody lives up there.
That's the thing, you got about a handful of people that use it, but still, it's our road.
It is, but it's not high priority.
Yeah.
I go priority on who uses the road. So,
You just have to keep in mind that we've already heard buzz that, any kind of hot top is gonna cost more
Yeah,
this season.
Can we,
So we're gonna get less mileage
can we?
than we
make a
had
motion?
before.
We've already done the survey. Ray's already figured 600,000.
I had five. I had five in the budget.
I wrote down the actual footage, on the budget report.
Hmm.
And it's gonna need some milling.
Well, I don't,
I,
milling's expensive.
yeah, I wanted to get a courtesy for a road commissioner to take a look at it and give me his input, because we haven't talked about it with Greg yet.
And
Okay.
Eaton gave us a contract price per ton for this year in his bid last year. So I don't know if he'll honor it, but I mean.
He may not be able to. If it gets crazy, he may not be able to do so.
Yeah, but I would like to buy,
So instead of kicking the can down the road until
okay,
we can get a
yeah,
estimate out
I'd like
right
to,
away.
yeah, can we? Yeah, yeah.
Well, and if we want to look at this, the report that we're looking at, the report that was pretty close on on Taunton, it was shot, it was off by about 50,000. Moranci comes in at 350.
Again, those are,
So,
What did Taunton end up being?
Taunton was, I think, about 323. And the original estimate from like the year and a half prior was 284. So pretty close.
yeah, I think,
I've seen that, Kansas provides an input also as a road commissioner. I think I'm not going to weigh in on what roads you choose, but in terms of like, some thoughts that maybe we want to think about. One, we need to keep the good roads good, because it's a lot more expensive once we go past that point of you can't mill and overlay anymore. You now need to go full road restoration. It's like, oh, you won't get much mileage from that. So keep the good roads good. Understand that it's a public safety thing if we don't fix the bad roads. So, and like, I understand the thought about volume, like how many people are actually, benefiting from the investment into the roads. But, we do need to be able to get fire trucks to properties if there's any, people living out there, as well as, ambulance or, any other kind of public safety, police from, so I think there's also that consideration, maybe not just like how many people are benefiting from it. So I just want to throw that out there as like another thing to think about. I also know that it's a challenge to get bid prices right now for work this time. We're going to pay a premium because of the price of oil. And so understanding maybe there's some patching we can do to tide us over to, we're coming up on a presidential election year and we all know this is all then. So just some food for thought.
yeah, it might be, its prices come back so high, but to Bill's point, up there by his place, that is dangerous up there. So we probably need to get that fixed regardless.
I'll see if that
I'm just saying. like,
cold
we
patch
can-
out there is working.
Well, up there's,
Yeah.
you can't even drive, you have to go way over to the side to get around that thing up there.
That's the public safety.
Yeah, exactly. So we have this, like, regardless of what we do with this, I'm gonna get that, at least that part patched.
So can you commit to it?
Yeah, that's just it. For that, can we move forward on that?
The only thing is you can't do any work until July.
Well, I can patch that.
We can get a whole
Yeah.
bunch of patch and start doing stuff, but you're not gonna do any paving until July.
Right, but at least get that, it's like the same
Mhm.
thing that on, Tucker Mountain Road where that culvert sunk.
Mhm.
That's dangerous to drive over that thing
Mhm.
now. Have you been over that recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went over that. It's
Good
bad
speed
now. Yeah. So that needs to be fixed.
Don't we have the money in road for money now that we haven't spent?
We have a few dollars left over from,
Yeah.
on the road budget.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we could get at least some of that started fixed.
Yep.
Yep.
So, motion
We don't need a motion, we're gonna go do it.
Yeah.
So,
And especially when we're talking about, up where you are, we talked a whole bunch about roads, and if Bill wasn't here, we would have missed Thorn.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, so put that in right with the, Tucker Mountain Road patch.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
all right, and then next meeting will give us your feedback on those. So. All right. Cell tower fees. I thought we already addressed that.
no, you had, did you address it? So we had fees in everything else, but was nothing on the cell tower.
Yeah, I thought we agreed to put it in last meeting.
If we did, we'll strike it. Move on.
You're receiving?
We would be receiving fees. Well, yeah, but any
It's
cell
a-
tower on Sullivan property.
If someone wanted to put a new one in, we have nothing in ordinance to say you pay me this much.
Yeah.
If someone wants to do an expansion on one, we have nothing to say you pay us this much. So we have no fee schedule.
We're not.
No, we're not. Yeah. So where are we on that? Because we talked about it.
So the recommendation is that someone came in and said, I want to build a new tower,
Yeah.
based on what's out there working in other towns now.
He gave us a sample of a fee schedule.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was in there,
No, this was,
but his,
no, this was, yeah, separate.
so his recommendation for new
Yeah,
was 15,000. If you do an improvement, it's anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000,
all right.
adding a piece in,
Could you have him put together the fee schedule for us? For
including
cell
that.
towers?
Yep.
And we'll go with that.
Yeah, because he just gave me a note. He says, with no cellular fees in proposed list, something the board can create and start new. For a company looking to expand services, it says within the building ordinance fees, because it doesn't really say anything.
Yeah,
That 1,500 for an expansion, if not 3,000. Because they don't happen often and they're a good revenue, but it's up to the board. And then for a new one, he let me know. He says new would be 15,000 because he didn't put it in his email.
yeah, so I get them more interested in it and see.
All right,
Because
I'm
what-
gonna
yeah.
pen something up.
All right, thanks. Sullivan ramp repair. We don't have any updates.
We have a quote coming from Donnie Tozier
Okay, for both ramps?
to the one right over here.
Okay, well, let's add the town landing ramp too.
Take a look at that afterwards. Yeah.
Okay. No parking signs on Taunton.
So there's a little strip of Taunton.
Yeah,
The first the first house down to track, considering that a lot of activity in the park, and just to kind of respect people parking in front of their houses, and maybe they do some kind of seasonal parking, like no parking in front of this strip here
Yeah.
from this time to this time.
so
Just a thought.
where would the signs be placed and would the,
Yeah, there's two that were stuck in the ground. I couldn't get back out, so we left them there.
yeah, they don't interfere with the plow?
No, yeah, one took a dip, but you could put them in a little further. If we know we're gonna keep them, wouldn't put them in short pegs, you put them a little taller.
Okay, has this been requested by the residents that live there?
No, but it kind of worked out well. Traditionally through Sullivan days, fire department would come and just put some like, temporary signs up and be done. And so we went this time, since I found them around in the basement, we put up some signs that could last a little longer.
It makes sense not to have people parked on the
It
main
would-
roads going-
It's just to respect the folks that live there,
Okay,
so
We're doing this when the people didn't request it?
we're gonna ask them if that's okay with them, but we want to see if this is something we'd want to do. Because if folks don't like that, we'll just go. Mhm.
Not because the precedent, but because it's a safety, because of fire, being able to have a lane for the fire trucks to go through in case it's an emergency. Because the people parking on one side of the road.
I would suggest we get temporary signs and that when there's events going on, we put it up at that point in time.
Yeah, that's what these are supposed to be.
Yeah.
But since we had it for like a few weeks, and because it, you had all through July and then into first week of August.
Right, because on July 8th, they'll be doing the concerts on Wednesdays.
Yeah, which drew a lot of foot
July.
traffic.
and we-
So
Yeah,
I say for summer months.
yeah.
if that's something deemed acceptable, that would be all it would be used for seasonal.
Yeah, it's fine.
Just to respect the folks that live there. So no one's all parking up in front of their house and who's nudging into the driveway and I can't get in, you create bad feelings because we're doing stuff in the park.
Both sides of the road is pretty tight there.
Right. So do we want to put a policy together
No, we'll first reach out to the property owners.
when they come back? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
All
we
right.
have mailing addresses for everybody anyway, so we'll pen up something. We'll get their feedback first.
All right. Town manager reports. What you got for us? Ray?
Other than the litany of stuff we've been hitting, the one update is on, there was our biggest outstanding property tax property in town. It's like $44,000. They went to court this week and they changed who the responsible person for the estate is. And the new person in charge will be putting the properties up for sale. So hopefully in a few months, we will be getting our back taxes.
All right.
That's their intent, it was 20 years ago, the individual passed away and the estate's been in flux for that long. So they're just gonna dispense with the estate. So that includes a piece up on Pumpkinville and that one over there by the end of Pumpkinville. So those two properties will go up for sale. We will get back our outstanding taxes, which is kind of neat. Other than that, I had a conversation with the folks that are doing our EMS billing, trying to get a clear line of where we're at, outstanding billing we've gotten back. I'd gotten a couple of direct questions from insurance providers, and I'm wondering why I'm getting direct questions from insurance providers. So kind of shook their cage a little bit about what their responsibility is.
All right. So do you remember, we've got a meeting with Northern Lights.
Northern Light on this Thursday.
Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So to bring it up with them, because they mentioned they may be able to do the billing for us.
Yeah, and see what they're.
I'd like to wrap it into the
It'll be-
agreement that we have.
yeah. Yeah, so that was one of the things that will be a meeting. We got a follow-up meeting with Northern Light on Thursday.
Yep.
Which I hope happens because the last one didn't.
Yep.
In talking with the harbor master, we've been looking at the online mooring program, which was a great idea, but it seems like a lot of our folks aren't participating in it.
Yeah. Anybody here, fishermen, use the online mooring program? Okay.
No.
I was just wondering, some of the used it,
So-
any feedback on it?
Yeah, so there's, it also falls out of cycle. People come register to boat in end of December, beginning of January. So getting a mooring permit was in July. The guys using their boat are busy in July. They're not coming in here to do that. So I'm gonna take a look at the ordinance and see if it has anything specific on, time-wise. But to have them come in and do paper application and we'll do it that way, might be best. Alan's already been talking to the fishermen with a very good reception on that.
So Alan's gonna come up with an alternative plan.
Yeah, alternative plan.
Did you say when?
We worked on the forms already and he's been talking to people about getting them to come in. So we'll see about getting them in. But we stocked it up the old forms, made new ones, one for mooring, one for ramp. Mooring was a duplicate form. It just didn't make any sense.
And you
But
know
what-
about those people have any input, the people are gonna be crushed if they don't use it one morning. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had,
Greg did some report, people aren't using it now.
when I pulled a whole report out of the online mooring system to see who's involved, Alan's looking and goes, well, where are the guys in Frenchman's Bay? They're not using it. It's like, well, so he goes, so we're missing people here. We have at least this many here. So we're missing folks on, well, the ramp, you're not going to know, but we're missing folks on moorings. So it's either it's too difficult or they're forgetting. But that's kind of the harbor master's job. to remind these folks, hey, by the way, did you do your thing? You owe me money. So I'm gonna shake that up. And the online mooring program folks had actually told Alan in the meeting that they were like, you guys really aren't using this. Kind of, it was almost like why are we charging you for this? So we've only gotten charged once since its inception. They did not charge us last year. So I'm thinking we had no long-term agreement with them. I'm just gonna close that out and save us $600.
Okay.
Take it away.
Yeah, as long as we have, make the announcement, put it in place first.
Yeah, I want to make sure we also have
The manual system.
everything's right in the ordinance as far as date wise, so we don't have to go back on that.
That's gonna impact you, because people are gonna come in, you have any issues with going back to manuals?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, because you would, the real crazy part is you get a check. You're like, who is this for? You have to go back and do the reporting to figure out who they sent you a check for,
okay.
and then tie it back. So you're always working back and forth in this system.
Good.
Not easy on either end.
Sounds good.
So we're working on that. That's kind of all I got.
All right, committee reports. I'm gonna save you for last, because you're the best. Fire EMS, no representation. for fire.
Mike's down with a
Yeah,
fever, so that's why I'm talking about the EMS thing.
harbor master, Alan gave you that information already.
Yep.
Planning board,
Not present.
uh,
Working on that.
age friendly.
Letting down.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I don't have that.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Becky.
The last thing that planning board had was to review the solar policy that was presented, so we'll see what's happening.
What's going on with the cannabis committee?
Cannabis committee, I'm just waiting to get a final ordinance back from Hancock County Planning Commission, so we can meet back with the with the
Review?
Hancock County Planning Commission is working on a fully
What commission?
Hancock County Planning Commission is working on the fully fleshed out ordinance that we can go back and review before presenting it in educational version to the public. So it's one last shot before we start talking to the public,
One last shot for what?
that we get to look at it to make any amendments to it.
So you're gonna wait till June to do this?
No,
No, it'll be voted, the plan is.
The plan is to vote.
Months ago, I sent him an email about
hmm
bunch of stuff on that. I think you were copied on it, and I highlighted and read all the things that maybe you weren't. Maybe it was just between the board, just me and Ray, but I highlighted everything in Ray that was a question mark to the state rules and stuff they can't implement. And
so I'm waiting to see what I get back, so we can have our last say at what's right, what's wrong. And then we get a final copy that we can then educate the public on to vote in June.
Yeah, so nothing's changed. We still plan to present the
April.
ordinance. Nothing's changed at this point, and until we hear otherwise.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Real quick on the, what is the,
We're good.
what is the committee called?
Cannabis committee?
Cannabis.
Yeah.
I remember they got together and they said, we're the cannabis committee, and I haven't seen them at one meeting since.
John was at least,
It's been a few months.
John was
Yeah.
at 2 meetings.
Yeah, they were here a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
well, I've been.
They were, wasn't on the board. You think
They,
you said
no,
something?
he asked if they were at a
Okay,
meeting.
Dave.
They were
Stop,
at a meeting.
stop.
I was just gonna say, is there a way that they can be here for our next meeting?
We can ask, but,
They have nothing to report. They haven't met.
Oh, okay.
all right, let's see, so planning, age friendly.
I was here 2 weeks ago, so, I presented the February data for 2 weeks ago, but, you have a report, it's got all of our March data, same from the statistics, not a lot new to tell you about, except, make sure you have the, cleanup day on your calendars, April 25th. Please, 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 Misty's been making lots of phone calls and getting folks lined up,
Do you know how many people where are we on people and?
She's got most of the slots pretty well filled.
Okay,
She's been busy the last
Yeah.
couple weeks. So she's right there, but there's always room for more. So, we put 3 people on a section of road instead of 4, or instead of 2. So there's always room, and it's a great event just to get out with the community. So please, if folks that want to get involved, let us know. We're also looking for folks to help with a potluck. That's something we've done with your meal for people. That's the big thing. I guess the highlights here is, in March, we served 251 residents with our various programs and services with a total of 184 hours of volunteer and paid family time. So we've been busy.
all right, thanks, Kim. Communication committee,
Thank you guys a report. The main thing I wanted to just want to do something required. But we had a little bit of hiccup this last month with getting the prior sent out, but 2/3 of the feedback was because the post office did this. So Ray and I did some research and we think we got it figured out as to what happened. And we're gonna try to get this coming month. The other thing, we need to talk about is that there is, I looked it up, we're gonna be raising the rates to 99 cents to send first class mail out, which is around $100 a month, just in postage, not counting printing and other things for the fire. And so we don't need to make a decision today, but, whether we want to just do mainly a couple central distribution spots like the blood bar store and the library. And not do a first class postage on the crier.
Post office too? or-
No,
No?
You can't distribute anything at the post office.
the town warrant, the town meeting anymore.
Yeah.
And,
you can do it in Sorrento, they don't monitor that one. That doesn't help us.
So, we can, we don't have to make a decision about that today, but something to think about, especially with the budget considerations.
Yeah, I understand, but I think that's, remember before, way back when they didn't mail it out and everybody hated it because they couldn't get their copies. So, yeah. But, yeah, let us know when we need to make the decision, I guess, but
So,
I'm in favor of still doing mailing for the folks that request it.
that's fine with me.
But that's just me, I don't know what the other guys think.
Yeah, just so everybody knows,
Yeah. It's gonna
from
cost
78
more.
cents to 95
Yep.
cents.
I get it.
So.
Okay,
Put it on social media, the town website, the town Facebook page, and the graphs that they provide us as to what our traffic has been on the report too.
all right, thanks, Yvette. Parks and Rec, we doing Bill or Bonnie? Looks like Bill and Bonnie, we get you both stereo.
Last month I was here, I told you that we had approved supporting the program fee for Sullivan residents to the summer camp program. Since then, that all of that promotion gone out. The first week was kind of almost full, second week was about half full. There's about seven Sullivan residents, whose program fee will be covered. Also mentioned to the bike ride oil, which will be held on May 9th, in collaboration with Bicycle Coalition of Maine. That is coming together really well. We've had donations from Dick's Sporting Goods and Walmart, Planters Bay, Barbecue, who has agreed to have a food truck there at the event. It's a free event open to safe bicycle kids. The Sumner Park Mall and ramp update I did February meeting, the committee agreed to allocate whatever monies are left over in our budget, the park and rec budget, to go towards to do carry forward and to be used for that wall. Ray and I have been in conversations with given a list of the old wall. Since then, we've also been talking about an accessible ramp, and I did give to you a copy of a rendering that Larry Johannesson did from Maine DOT. We met with Jim and Alyssa, I don't know, like a couple of weeks ago now. So we don't currently have an estimate of what it would do, what it would take to pay for the ramp itself. We have submitted a grant to ARP to hopefully, if we get it, to cover the cost of that ramp. We just felt that if we're redoing the wall, it makes sense to do the ramp at the same time, if in fact we're able to get the funding via that grant process. The kayak rack.
Bonnie, can I start this thing? I've got a question for Ray on the Sullivan Park. The burn barrels are still there. Did you get a hold of Rob and
Yeah.
find out who got that? I mean,
Yeah,
they're
he said
still
he's
there.
gonna, he said he's gonna get someone to get rid of them, so,
Okay.
Yep.
All right. How long ago was that?
a week and a half ago,
Okay.
I'll follow up with him.
I think I'm just gonna roll the barrels off. They're still in the grass right now.
I know they moved them, because they're not in the same spot.
Yeah, they just consolidated in one spot. Okay, I'm sorry, Bonnie.
Rack. Kayak rack for Landis Pond is here. I have a couple of potential volunteers to help install that rack. The committee at its last meeting voted to charge to have a $50 seasonal rental fee and a $15 weekly rental fee. Over time, it would, go towards offsetting the expense, although ultimately the intent is for our citizens to use it. Yeah. I see a question.
If I want to rent one, what do I do?
I'm sorry.
If I want to rent a space, what do I do?
There'll be a rental application.
And so take it into the town clerk?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, who's responsible if someone steals a kayak?
It's not our liability.
Somebody has to lock it themselves.
They have to block it themselves, yeah. And the rental agreement is designed on the rental agreement that we have from Reedville.
Okay. And you've got a process to take the money for this event? Okay.
Just a real quick follow-up on the walking trail off of Miramar. Ray did get me the survey that, I'm sorry, well, actually, it is the survey and the deed. There is very clearly a right-of-way there, although from the deed I could not ascertain that it actually belonged to the town. John Keenan has agreed to go through the deeds to backtrack and see if we can identify specifically that it does belong to that piece of property. I did write up a letter to the abutters, but we won't, that won't go out. Just explaining that what we have on is a simple walking trail, probably will be taking down bushes and then putting some kind of a mulch on the trail itself. But that we would not, we would want to notify them. John, did you want to add?
Yeah, I did survey, starting with the deed, going back in time. And went all the way back to 1889. Prior to that, it was in Massachusetts, so I ain't going there. What it is when the Sullivan Harbor Foundation developed the property there, they have an easement strip that runs all the way down to the ocean, 15-foot wide. It abuts It's described in one of the property as the 15-foot strip, the other property abuts the 15-foot strip. And also I found out, that the tennis court, which was part of the Sullivan Harbor Foundation back then, had a covenant on it, as well as this strip, that there was supposed to be no trees, that it was supposed to be mowed all the time. Well, that covenant expires in 2050. So after 2050, you can build buildings on it, you can let the trees grow, and so forth.
Okay.
I think there's a little more to it than that, if I may add. There was certain conditions when the Sullivan Foundation, or whatever they're called,
Sullivan Harbor Foundation.
Sullivan Harbor, when they, presented it to the town to take over. And there was restrictions on that then. So, I think we need to look at how that was written up, as the gift.
I think what they do, from what I read, is that they remain on there until 2050. So then after that, I don't know about whether the covenants stand.
How long is this, trail? It's a 15-foot wide trail, goes right through the top of that road, that's not to the shore. That goes from the top of the, Route 1.
Route 1.
So you're gonna pass right through.
No,
No.
it's on the other side, of the tennis courts.
Right where the memorial is.
But I want to cross the road too, a little bit across the road. So where the pavement ends, I'm beyond that, you've seen my pins.
Yeah, this is over next to Dunbar's store right down.
Oh, way over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So some people have like staked out, there's a pin there and there's parking there, so. I don't
Yeah.
know, people are parking there. The red parking does go over that.
Some of the detail that I found out was when you had Steamboat Landing
Mhm.
over there, that this strip of land was used primarily for Bar Harbor residents to come bring their boat over. And they would bring it straight up through that 15-foot. So it was actively used at a period of time.
Yeah, on that area.
Yeah, over on Steamboat.
All right, let's keep going here.
We're seeing very cautiously. I think you're right, Sullivan Days is moving along really well. People work so hard on that event. There's more food vendors, more music, with the addition of demonstration tables, and we are considering applying to a grant to the Office of Tourism to potentially cover, if awarded, it would cover advertising. The PNR community is also exploring the creation of a website dedicated to PNR events programming, so that when we do a QR code on the promotion, it just takes you directly to that site. And like I said, that's, we're exploring that. And the skate park design update, and LWC.
Sure.
Bill?
Hey. Yeah, so, I'm with the skate park subcommittee, Parks and Rec. And, we're, working on a vision for, one day, revitalizing the park, renovating it, bringing it more up to, current day standards with concrete. So we've been meeting with a lot of community members, skaters, bikers, to try to come up with a vision, and working with a Maine-based skate park company, out of Auburn since November. So we're having a meeting this Saturday, and we just wanted to extend a welcome to everyone, to the select board, and the public as usual, to come out and see where we are with this vision towards a concept design. And yeah, so that's Saturday at 2 p.m.
All right.
Is
Well-
this the final meeting?
It's theoretically the final meeting, but we're pretty sure it would be, but there's tweaks that still could come after that.
and the folks from the LWCF, grant folks, those are from national parks. And we had somebody here, what, 3-4 weeks ago? Matt, what was his
Yeah.
name? And he was it's their group that gave the funding to develop the playground and skate park to begin with. And he came and he was very impressed at the fact that it's still in as good a condition as it is. An inspector that came prior, she was about 2 months before that, I think, maybe it's even 3. She had said she's inspecting all these areas in the state that received funding, and that we have probably the best maintained skate park in the state at this point. So it does give us a lot of bonus points, basically, to get more money. And I think their money has been increased dramatically from what they had said from last time. So all fingers crossed, this could really bring the vision to fruition.
So budget committee,
Okay. Get as proper, from our policy here. For those who don't know, my name is John. And, it was very nice to find our surviving member of the budget committee. We kicked off our budget committee on the 26th of March. The first meeting, Ray presented his budget, and we started reviewing it from then. We got a once over our last meeting. The minutes I just gave you. The other minutes was the 26th, Ray had. So if you want to go ahead and read over those minutes, he has those, but those are from our last meeting.
I'm sorry, did you guys approve those minutes? Because I wasn't going to post anything until you had them approved. Cool.
These minutes will get approved on Wednesday. We're tackling it, reviewing each department. April 1st, we're on Department 10 to start out with, and we'll keep going through all the departments. One of the things that I wrote on there that we talked about is planning what road we're gonna get budget for this year. Last year was this year, I'm recommending that Morancy be because it's one of our roads that is well traveled.
yeah,
We have
for clarification, we talked about this last year too, the budget committee does not tell us what roads.
right, but
Yeah.
to get some, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask our select board to let us know,
How much money?
well, yeah. So that we can start planning on that. Checking, using as an example,
Mhm.
that you guys can approve which road our great road commissioner has already promised that he's gonna address all the safety issues with the roads that we have, so that our roads are passable by making maintenance repairs. But this is going to improving our roads so that we can present this to the select board. The budget, so we don't know what that number is. Actually, it's fluid right now. Whatever bonds are taken out, whatever oil, you don't know, and how that's gonna affect the paving this year.
Yep.
But that's not just the fact is to upkeep our roads. We can't stick our heads in the sand.
I absolutely agree, I think that is probably the number one job.
So last year, by the time we looking at our goals from the survey that was done on our roads to come up with a plan that we can address an average. I think last year we said 2 miles,
So, whatever. number it
2,
was.
3 miles a year, and that way we can budget that. Ray has already threw a dart in the air and came up with 600,000. But as the budget committee, having a proposal put out right away, will allow us to have a solid number to work with, so that when we present that to our annual meeting, that we can say, this is what it's gonna cost, we've got it already budgeted, and this going forward. But without knowing that number,
Sure.
without having the information on what you are going to decide which road to tackle first, you know, I just threw out there, cause I took a ride on all our roads. Obviously, that's down here with the Trump Road, I could just barely get down. The Thorn Road is bad. They're all bad, but, and I agree with Bethany that the roads that are good, we need to maintain. And that's where we're gonna rely on the road commissioner.
Then beyond.
Okay. I'll take the word.
We get the
But-
gist. Yeah.
We need a number.
Yep.
And sooner than later. Or else we're not gonna be able to propose a number to the board.
Well, Taunton Drive was 330,000, and how long was that, right?
That. Hang on. Taunton combined was lane miles. What, lane miles? That's a fun one. Lane miles is 3.62 lane miles.
And then right there, broke it down. 3 months. Say on 3-month corner, and Ramsey, what did it say?
5,000.
No, the mileage.
Oh, 0.98.
0.98. So, that's one thing that we should get a bid on. 0.49 is Grange Hall Road. Then I got the Town Lake Road on there. I didn't put the Thorn Road because that's going crazy for all 4 of them.
Well,
So whatever you guys decide, then we need to get that estimate right. I would say now, I'm not thinking that oil prices are gonna stabilize anytime soon. You know, but people kick the bucket, but
No, I agree. So, right,
so we're.
can you call Eaton and see if they will still honor those
Yeah.
prices? Do you have a contract?
Yeah.
So if they will still honor the per square foot price, then we'll have a pretty good ballpark.
Well, not just the ballpark.
Well,
we did, I think we'll ride all the roads and get a price on each road, and then we'll go from there.
You mean you're gonna do all the roads? in
Well,
the
we'll
village?
do all but the Tongue Lake Road, but Merrima's almost ready, because all the culverts have been done.
Okay,
Range Hall Road. Not sure if all the culverts been done on that.
there's one, I know pretty good. There's one culvert that, needs to be done, only because it's a swamp on one side of the road. Either it needs to be ditched and figure out if that is actually just a clog.
well, okay, we gotta put, let's move on. We gotta.
Yeah,
topics
so
covered.
I'm asking
Yeah.
for a commitment from the select board, which road, a solid bid,
Yeah.
solid number, not just going dark.
Well, that's gonna be up in the air with fuel prices.
Well, not if we get a bid. Right,
Well,
right.
no one's gonna bid
Until the season starts.
till,
Right.
they're not gonna bid.
But if we can get Eaton to say they'll commit to it, then we at least have a price per foot.
And before you can get Eaton to commit to it, you need to select commit. What,
Well, he committed, give a very time price to
Right. Right.
on anything.
okay,
Then all you gotta do is know how long the road is.
Exactly. How
but
many,
he didn't do any milling,
We're not gonna do more.
okay?
No.
A proper way to do it would be milling. To
yes,
get more length out of it, because who knows what cracks are gonna show up on time.
Yeah. okay,
Oh, yeah, the last thing, so we have Bethany as a, member. Jerry's gonna attend our, meetings. I know last meeting didn't really go that great. But Jerry, I think would be a continuing going forward an asset. So if you wanna, recommend possibly reconsider him as being a member on our road, budget committee.
Do you still bring the
Yeah.
lawsuit against the town?
Mhm.
Then, no. Now, again,
I just recommend it.
that's fine. I can be overridden by Greg and Norm, so that's just my opinion.
I probably have to agree with you.
Okay. Well, I hope Jerry continues to.
No, I'll
attend and,
continue to come.
Uh, give us,
Yep, that's fine.
But before you leave, because I would like to, I guess a vote on, Sarah.
I was, I guess with Ray, under the assumption she never quit from last year. Is it year to year, or does she have to be re-sworn in year to year?
I don't know what the last swearing in
Yeah, I don't
was.
know what the last one was either. We're doing it now on a year-to-year basis for new members. She's got,
3 years.
yeah, that's my understanding. So she's on the committee.
So, yeah, so it's, once you're sworn in,
Based on,
Forever unless you quit.
yeah, like Mike and I did last year.
no, it's not forever. It's a 3-year term. And then you need to be sworn in again. Now we're doing it on a year-to-year basis for. Unless you,
Voted every year.
I think
no, yeah, we're not doing the annual, yeah.
Forever, voted on each annual town meeting, not a 3-year thing.
Okay.
It got voted every year at the annual town meeting.
So
Yeah.
I
Prior
think
to the change.
proper would be to swear her in.
Yeah, we can swear her in next meeting. I don't want to take the time to go through it, but I'm in favor of Bethany being on the committee. You got paperwork? Go ahead.
you go vote, you go vote her in now, you appoint her. Fine.
Thank you.
You want-
And anybody else that wants to join the budget committee?
John,
Why?
while they're doing that, I posted your minutes.
Yeah.
Online.
Yes.
All right. Just let you know that they're up.
All right,
So your June, 20, from March 26th, they're online.
March 26th, right?
Yeah, your first meeting that you said were approved.
Yeah.
I posted them.
Great.
Okay, and you just do it now, it's done.
Okay. And Wednesday, you'll.
Yeah,
do
and
it
I'll
again.
I'll post them as they come.
Yes, we can.
Say thank you.
Here you go, sir. Right, you're set. All right, public comment. Hello. Well, wait.
I-
Is there second before public comment? Or no,
The way this is,
okay, I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah. the public comment, yeah.
Still. Livestock ordinance.
We looked at the livestock ordinance and the state ordinance is what we've adopted.
Town has ordinance that requires livestock to be fenced.
We can. I don't know if that's in the best interest of the town or not.
Why not? What we got now is not working.
Well, what we have now is the state law.
Yeah, we're going under state law and our ordinance would.
Fence requirement for livestock.
Should there be one or should there not be?
There should definitely, well, actually, at this point, a barbecue would work.
Community barbecue, for the whole community.
I think it should be the entire town with what we have.
Wait, can we have for the next meeting, print out the state ordinance, have it, or the state law in front of us?
Yep.
There are some guidelines from state.
Yeah.
It says what, or, you know, a boundary by a river or something. Route 1 is not about, and we are, again, down the road. I'm not calling ACO again, unless we're in my property, because I've been received very poorly by a lot of people.
Have you still been having problems
Yes.
since?
Oh, God, yes. Yeah. They go off to work and leave them by themselves.
Yeah.
They're not, they have been on my property since the first of the year, one time.
Okay,
The man-made fencing, my trees he cut and cut over. They have been in the road. I have seen him cut down the sheriff over there and the state police over there. I'm not calling them if they're on my property again,
right.
because I'm not received very well. At all.
Well, the way that the state law is written is that the violator of the state law, they have certain guidelines that they have to fall into. If you violate within a certain period of time, then
Right.
there's legal proceedings against them. That's how the state law goes.
One after the other, nothing comes. What happened? I mean, when is too much?
And I'm not sure the town ordinance is gonna solve your problem. Because we don't have law enforcement in the town.
I know that. I know that.
So I'm empathetic to your cause, but I don't know the answer is the town ordinance is the answer. I know documentation and providing it to law enforcement over a certain period of time and continued documentation.
But if you have all of those 5 incidences in 7 days, what becomes of that? What fine, what?
Well, then it's a visit to the person. That's why I asked if they've been on your property since then.
Don't do that, and
Yeah.
it starts all over again.
Yeah.
It's,
Can your boys help her at all? There's nothing they can do either?
We don't have anybody to enforce it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, can I add something? I guess if we're just relying on the state law, the
Mhm.
state is gonna have some type of either under Title 17, they're gonna be responsible for enforcing their own laws.
Mhm.
So it's not that you're looking for an ordinance, you're looking for enforcement of what's existing now. So just complaining, to somebody, if you can print out, the state, just like you recommended, which is a great idea, then you can also print out the enforcement. And then
The refundable.
it's the responsible person. If it's the state of Maine, we contract with the Maine State Police, and it's the Maine State Police that round up the rodeo. And our family ran into this problem years and years and years ago, and we owe apology to Bonnie Spark. She had geese that were coming over our property all the time, and we didn't know whose geese they were. But we just scooped them up, put them in the back of my car, and took them to Birdsacre, threw them over the fence. But
this picture is, I put Paul with 2 on plate.
yeah,
And they come up on my porch, they poop on my porch,
Well, again, you said they've done it one time this year.
this year, one time.
Okay.
well,
And they haven't done it since you put the complaint in. Is that correct?
I filed a complaint one time when they were in my backyard. I would not call it when they're in the road or down on the driveway
Okay.
because I'm received very poorly and I'm tired of it.
Yeah. Well,
so that's,
yeah, and I know Ray has been in contact with the animal control and then done research on it. And the recommendation, he said, was stick with the state law, and what has to happen is documented proof over a certain period of time repetitively.
And then
Mhm.
what happens after you meet all of that criteria?
Then they would come and typically impound the animals.
Well, then legal proceedings start.
Yeah. And animal control could then have legal precedence to impound the animal.
I mean, if it's 5 times in one day, it's 6 o'clock in the morning,
But it's only happened once this year though.
once since the first this year.
Yeah.
But before the winter,
Right.
up to the 18th of December, not November, like the APO had tried to say to you. Yeah. You know, they destroyed my lavender and my lilac, and they've been in my garden, and they've been on the porch, and they're in the road, and
No, they can't, you. As long as they're not on your
Smith and
property.
Wesson's your solution.
it's right. My house.
Or a piece of each
Why
farm.
not? Something on the one without
And they're
touching
being yellow.
it.
Oh, I don't know where you live, so. I'm just saying, if you have big animals that are scaring you, they're coming over your property and the people that own them aren't taking care of them, right? Is that what I understand?
No, he's not taking care of them. That's yeah.
All right, so next meeting, have the state law, we'll go over it again, see if we can come up with any more recommendations on it. Yeah.
Have you talked to the person that owns the property at one point about the situation?
To speak with Conrad?
Hmm?
Speaking with Conrad, you're saying?
Well, his mother owns it. And he says he's the tenant, but not the owner.
I know originally I had addressed her, and then we've been addressing him since, because they're his animals.
Yeah, my understanding was he had them contained, at least from your yard.
Hmm?
My understanding was he had them contained, that they would not go into your yard anymore. And it sounds like that's correct, because it's only happened one time.
I've seen him just recently out in the garden.
I didn't say out,
Not her yet, not her yet, though.
yeah,
Their sheep?
Well,
Okay,
they're-
I know what you're talking about now.
yeah.
I've seen him on the edge of the road.
Again,
Seen him on the edge of the
But they're
road.
not on her property.
we're not,
No, still on his side of the road.
yeah,
they were-
okay.
got my luncheon, and I stacked my pot, so we call all 6 of them. Yeah.
All right, well, yeah, we're past it. Just understand, we're not trying to blow you off. We'll look at state, but there's only so much we can do, and we're trying to figure out a way to do it. Yeah, yeah. All right,
The only thing. you
any
can-
other public comments? Betsy?
You guys brought, a couple things you guys brought, the poles, moving the old utilities from the old poles, new poles, so you can get the old poles out. It does take time, and I would coordinate that through Versum.
Yeah.
I just gotta give them the phone number, and then it's not their process. Really simple.
Versum's already moved their wires.
Yeah. And then you have to keep bugging Versum to get the other utilities out there. Right? So.
Okay,
I've done it a few times here, and we just gotta do that. And then
excuse me. But please let Betsy have the floor.
okay, and then you had brought up, obviously we went over a policy tonight, remote participation policy. There were a couple policies that were started but not enacted or moved forward, back when I was on the select board. And those are, 2023 vintage, that was the purchasing policy. And then another one that was discussed was the public hearing policy. I think there's any drafts to the hearing policy, but we definitely discussed the purchasing policy, and I had a draft. So happy to share that if you like.
Yes, please.
And then, so things, Greg, you alluded to it on the readiness to the road readiness to move forward. Because there's definitely a sequence of operations, so you don't have problems, so I was just, you guys make your decisions on telling on what roads, we're gonna have another culvert. Another culvert, even if they're working properly, they don't last as long as they. Even contractors, if they have to do ditching work, that. Yep.
Well,
Right.
he did one culvert for us up in Sullivan, and it was $3,000 that little road. So they had to pave it and all that. The previous contractor that did, he was charging $4,000 for a driveway call. Which should have been about 1,500 or less. But he was in the ballpark for doing a road culvert.
Right. So shoulder work, who's come back with me, so I know you know all that, so I just ask for the input as to how ready is it is. First time.
And your road has been culverts be done, there's one culvert on the other end that I'm not even sure if it needs to be there, but other than that, that road pretty much be ready to pave.
Yeah, Route 1, when there's, you know, a lot of rain on Route 1, it does come down and wash actually along I had a sump there at the end of the driveway for ages. They did that. Washes out my driveway, so it's kind of a state
But
problem.
you don't want a culvert there though, do you?
If it kept me from having to go clunk every time I go out.
Then I'd have to ditch your whole lawn.
I know. So, anyway, I'm not really suggesting that, I'm just suggesting that there's some readiness.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
All right, thanks, Bethany. John?
Getting back to the road, what condition is Moranci being ready?
Culverts, road culverts.
But you don't know of any culverts that are not working now?
No.
Okay. For me,
But if there's metal culverts, we might, remove them.
but you would do
Whether
it,
they're working or not.
okay, and that falls under your department to do.
Yeah.
And we have enough to go ahead if you go ahead and let's say Moraine, it's gonna fill that out, leave Grange all around, I don't care.
Sure.
You know, I just bring my bike down, I like the bumps. So let's say Moraine, that, you got a lot of acres, seems to be, you know, a lot of investment going up there. If we could just look at that as a number,
I think that's,
Yep.
He committed to doing that.
and, for paving, and, well, I guess, culverts are handled under maintenance, correct?
Well, I'm assuming it would be.
Yeah, so, if that's the focus you're gonna do on the culverts, if we start to commit that, like, let's do these culverts, and let's start the progress on getting a bid. I know you say that hopefully they'll stick with the same prices from last year, but it's good to get a competitive bid.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they were $60,000 cheaper than the next bid.
And in your opinion, the work that was done, what, did you check it over with?
Yeah, I mean, I think if
Make
you're
sure?
over max, it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, Greg comes back and says, we're gonna do Francis first, I thought,
But we gotta do culverts, shoulders, whatever it takes before we pay it.
Paul Ryan did several culverts, 4 or 5 years ago up there.
yeah, I can't,
He might even done went down at the end up by the.
yeah, I know there was a couple replaced a number of years, not too far ago.
so you'd be able to just look at the end of the culvert. Two culverts, there you go. That's what I mean, you can see if it's metal or not, you know, and then you'd be able to come up with a quick,
I have to get a price on.
well, I mean, just visual, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
Right. You know, and then that can come out of the maintenance budget. And we can, you guys decide which road. If this is what you guys want to do. You know, I'd say personally, the Moranci Road. And then whatever road you want. From there.
Nothing.
All right,
Oh, yeah, one more thing. That.
yeah, what about,
The ditches, along Route 1, where the trees are growing now. Can somebody like me maybe volunteer to go cut out some of those trees, those, when the lupines come up, they look pretty good.
It's a state road and it's in the state.
So you guys wouldn't object if I went out there?
Maybe you can pick up your sign while you're there.
Is it still there?
I think so.
That's when my brother went out there and cut up,
Yeah, John, that's not in our purview.
I'll check it out.
So,
Yeah, I thought I cleaned up.
so do what you're gonna do. That's not our deal.
I don't wanna get,
You're not gonna get in trouble with us.
I
I'll
tried
get in trouble with Mike.
No.
I tried to back over and bush hog that.
Oh, okay, I'll check to see if, cause I thought I cleaned up after. Yeah, my brother went out.
All right, been a long night. Anybody else? Are you done? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't know, the clock didn't start.
I know.
No, I'm not yet.
All right. Any board comments? Action item list, I don't know if there's any updates on that, nothing new on there. Oh, the only thing, personnel policy, where are we on that?
I need another 2 weeks.
Need another 2 weeks, okay?
Been too busy. Sorry.
All right, so I move to executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056F to discuss confidential records. You got a second?
Second.
All in favor? Move you guys got to do it.
You ain't gotta tell me twice.
Thanks, everybody, for coming, or you come back in after the executive session.
Oh.
Come in and hit yourself with a hammer somewhere, so.
I want you to take a look at that.
What's that?
We already took
Take a look at that.
That's the same stuff that we had before, right? That's all the same stuff from before. All the pictures that you sent me.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the bylaw
the shellfish thing.
18 December, not in
Yeah,
November.
I know we already.
No, December 18, you sent me those. I have them.
18.
Yeah, you sent me those.
Yeah.
I'm going home.
No, I didn't have the clam thing. You want to talk about the clam thing? You want to agree to go ahead with it or?
I thought we already agreed, we agreed before.
We agreed? Okay.
Yeah, we already agreed to that.
So I'm gonna,
Yeah. Right,
Ratify, what do you want to call it?
okay,
signed,
Fine.
he can sign it, we already agreed,
okay. All right, so I'll work with Mike on that.
yeah.
right.
We're waiting for,
I hadn't hit record again. So I was like, wait, hold on.
move to return to regular meeting session.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, for the executive session actions, and we just talked about it, we approved 2 minor abatements and 1 settlement deal on a piece of property. Yeah. I move to adjourn, unless anybody else has anything. I know you want to stay here all night.
Yeah, I do.
All right, you good? I move to adjourn, second,
Second.
all in favor?